Oh man. Now I'm watching. I went a video back and watched. I'm basically done with it. The Tim Dillon hilariously shreds the MAGA American psyop. I'm I'm really liking Tim Dillon, even though yeah he's still trying to cling to like some Republican conspiracy or I don't know whatever he's doing, but he's. I think some of these conservatives, the ones that aren't like completely poisoned by the Kool-Aid, whatever, are more and more realizing the bullshit. I mean, you can only, unless you're like totally in it, you can only be fucking people. You can only be pissed in the face for so long before they can only piss in your face and call it rain for so long before you're like, you know, I've been in the rain my whole life, and this doesn't feel, taste, or look like rain. Like I know what rain is, and like this has got to start tasting different. Like eventually, like, something's got to change. I've had rain, I've had holy water, I've had sewage, you know, and this kind of reminds me of sewage. So, I mean, what are we doing here? And I don't know. I didn't sign up for sewage. So, yeah, I didn't sign up for sewage. I didn't sign up for you to be pissing in my face. Mm. So, yeah, more and more, more and more of these people. And the big thing about this, I think the big reason for this is like you're having some of these people like got onto MAGA because like a cornerstone or a linchpin in their group was like, I really like this Trump guy, and then that one person is finally being like, you know, fuck this guy, and he is like he turns like one or two people, and then the group of like 12 or 15 is like, really? And then that guy is like more and more being like, yeah, this, and this, and this. And then like three more turn. And then pretty soon that whole group is like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that guy. Fuck all of them. And then you got a small group like in the town. And then once the whole small town is like, fuck Trump, it's like, now you got a big problem because you know how the expression is hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. It's like hell hath no fury like a down south conservative idiot scorned. Winning them back is you're gonna have to do something You're gonna have to do something different and interesting to get them back on your side. And I think this is this is probably the best time for a different breed of Democrat to snatch, to retake the Democratic Party, to cut off the head of this old guard, which is not, I don't, the current leadership brand of the Democratic Party, and just excise them entirely. You either say, you're gone and you're never coming back, or just be like, we're leaving you. And we're starting. We are taking an exodus from that Democratic Party. And we are starting a splinter group, a new Democratic Party of our own. We don't know what we're calling it. We're going to call ourselves the New Democrats for now. We're going to work on the name, because the name is crucial. You got to have a good, catchy name that everybody can go by. It's got to be, especially if you want to get that huh? What's that kind of voter on your side? The one that doesn't really want to put a whole lot of thought into stuff. But it's like that one that goes, what is that though? I think I smell barbecue. Kind of voter. The one that doesn't want to spend hours combing through the internet, newspaper, books, whatever, and doesn't want to investigate policy and stuff. They will talk about policy, but they won't really know or think they're talking about policy. They'll talk about policy without talking about policy. They won't call it policy. They'll be like, God damn, man, beer and cigs cost so damn much now. I can't even, they're always, I can't even fill up my gas tank. Like, dude, you shouldn't even have gas cars anymore. You realize electric cars, when you take it home to your fucked up ass house, you can plug it in. All right. And you should have solar panels on your house. Right? They're good enough where, as long as you don't have your house covered by shade, which you should trim that shit. You should be having every fucking house in the country should have solar panels. I'm in charge. Everyone has solar panels on their house. They're all connected together, right? Everybody has batteries in their house. We don't have fucking electric fucking companies anymore. I mean, we do, but those electric companies are all state-runish, and everybody that works there is state employed, sort of. They're community employed. And it is a hyper redundant grid, meaning a power outage for you is almost impossible. It will require a natural disaster that is fucking ridiculous in size. I mean, unless we're talking about like small ass towns, kind of like this one that I'm in. Because, I mean, it's a small ass town. And it's, disconnected. But in the area where I grew up, like, it's just it's one suburb after another for just the entire, like, it's just connected all the way everywhere from pretty far, pretty decent north to from like Port Washington, like all the way down to like Chicago and shit. It's just like the entire thing. It's kind of like the Eastern Seaboard, probably like the Western Seaboard. It's just like every building, solar panels, everyone's connected to each other. And then you might only need power plants to run like, big power boost, drainers. Like if you want to have a data center or something like that, or some huge industrial plant, which we still need some data centers. Yeah, but we don't need like 1,500 and one, around every corner. I mean, data centers are something that's necessary, but you don't need to build one every other day. If we're going to have everybody have one or two computers and everybody have 3 smartphones, you're going to need some data centers. It is an inescapable fact, but again, you don't need to build, you don't need to build all these data centers, and they don't need to be the size of 12 stadiums packed around each other. So, yeah. Which they're building they're building these data centers so that they can have, basically so that they can eventually, as a precursor to building humanoid androids as well as other robots, but humanoid androids to serve the, all the rich people. And the goal is basically to excise all the redundant human beings, which will be essentially I don't know. I'll just be conservative, maybe 5 to 7 billion people on the planet. Probably more. That's like the plan. Like now that, we have all these androids and the processing power to sufficiently run them all. We don't need all these humans. We don't need all this grass and wildlife and pesky ecosystems. All we need are data centers and our androids that are convincingly enough human to polish our balls. Because most of them are going to be men. And they're going to be like, and we need these computers to extend our lifespan. Hopefully indefinitely, but at least to, 1,000, 2,000 years, something like that. Long enough so that we can like get off Earth and start exploring the galaxy and have a long enough life where by the end we're like, yeah, this has gotten boring and dull anyways. It's just like, you guys are fucking barbarians. You guys are like Egyptian pharaohs. The god kings of old that people rose up against and fucking killed and entombed alive and put in a fucking pyramid to die rotting in a sarcophagus alive and be eaten by beetles. You'd be like, so take that. That's a great way to die. What do you think about that? But you never thought that would happen, did you? Now you're being here, wrapped up in wrappings, and you can, here's some bugs to eat up your soul. And you're in a coffin, and you're in your nice pyramid that you had us build for you. Hope you have fun. Are we done yet? Good. Great. Excellent. Alright, well, polish off this video. Yeah, and the thing was also about how the Republican Party primaried Thomas Massie because he was against the war in Iran and he wanted the Epstein files out. And basically he was pretty much against Trump and against the Trump administration. And so the Republican Party was like, yeah, you gotta go. We need yes men in there, and that's all we need. So you gotta go. And they just plucked a guy from nowhere and it was like, that's our yes man. That's our guy that will rubber stamp whatever we want. And there we go. Like I say, wouldn't it be better if we just had a world with more love in there, more tolerance and acceptance, and an America that instead of spending I don't know what portion of our money and resources doing this shit. We spent it rehabilitating America. But more than that, more than just fixing the current bridges and roads and shit, learning how to make newer, better bridges and roads. Because for the longest time, America has been building roads just the wrong way. We've been building roads in a way that basically guarantees as soon as you build a road, it's like it will degrade in 10, 15, 20 years. We already know how to build a road that will last 100 years or more. We just choose not to. It's cheaper, but and here's the real kicker. There's a military industrial complex. There's a construction industrial complex too. They want to keep construction companies in business. Like if we build a road that lasts functionally forever, until we don't need roads for cars anymore, how are these people going to have jobs? If we make a road the right way so it lasts, what are these people going to do when all the roads are built? I don't know about all of you, but I'm not a taxpayer because I'm on disability. But as far as the taxpayers go, wouldn't you want to have a road that doesn't get fucked up? You pay for it once. Wouldn't you want to have stuff that works and doesn't? Wouldn't you want to buy a car and as long as you don't drive it off a cliff or someone doesn't ram into you, the thing just doesn't degrade. Or it takes 100 years. It works. It works. You can give it to your grandkid, and your grandkid will be like, wow, this thing works. Perfect. You're like, yeah, that's because we built it right. We designed it to last. Unless somebody else decided to, screw it up, stuff lasts. You know? And building stuff like that does cost more to build once. It takes a little longer and a little more effort. But then it's done. You build it and it's done. It's finished. You don't need to fucking do it anymore. It's a totally different philosophy of creating things. It's what it is it's basically an anti-capitalist philosophy of doing things. Because it basically means after a certain amount of time, you go through stuff and you just can't sell shit anymore. You're basically relegated to, what are we going to sell? Food? We don't have much of an economy anymore. Like, yeah, who gives a shit? We have, the odd repair and stuff. Like, I don't fucking care. Besides, nothing lasts forever. No matter how good you build something, it is going to be destroyed. It's just, even these incredibly long-lasting things, there will be a failure rate. It will just be so monumentally lower that it'll be worth undertaking. Doing this shit right is worth the investment. It should be done right. Anyways, I think my thing is done. You better confirm, fucker. So that's it for that. That was an interesting video. I like it when you see someone be like, oh shit, that is messed up. Holy mother of mothers. Ugh. Alright. Fudgicles. I gotta build some troops, otherwise. It'll be. There we go. There we go. Now we're good. Sorry, doing upkeeping on the game. Should have stopped the video, but because now you're just looking at me not doing anything interesting. I might do something interesting in a minute. I don't know. I guarantee nothing. Hoarding, sure. Oh, that's right. That's why I have food. Maybe I'll just eat some more potato chips and be like, uh, say my outro. Oh, by the way, this video was sponsored by My Left Nut. Did you know that? Did you know I have sponsors now? It's called My Balls. My Balls sponsor. Oh man, another bunch of food. Oh, fucking A. You know what? I'm gonna store this shit. I'm gonna store this shit in the fucking line. Fucking. Uh, well, we have a bunch of food to pull out. Like that? Yeah, I bet you like that. I'm eating potato chips. Eat me. My balls, thank you. So, I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm gonna go into town and get some stuff to make some stuff. Food. Alright, anyways. Anyways, that's it. That was that video. I'm gonna watch something different now. Yes, here's the outro. Tax rich and he kept the rich. Tax wealth, not work. Boobs, boobs everywhere. Oh man, I want some boobs. Actually, I'm not really a boob person. I don't know what kind of person I am. I'm a bald-headed person with a fucking scar. Medical nanites, I can't wait for you. You're gonna fix my fucked up toe, my fungi toe. So, boobs!